Another morning and another walk. I'm here in East Cork and I'm just beginning my trek on the Capel Way coastal walk. It'll take me along the cliffs with the Atlantic on my left hand side. Now, I'm here at Knockadoon Pier in East Cork, and once again this morning, beautiful morning, a bit frosty. All donations for the maintenance of the trail is welcome. So we're heading up Capel Way now. And the first few minutes on this Capel Way coastal walk is a sort of a baptismal of fire. But it's a lovely morning to be out and about. It takes a few moments for me to get going and get into my stride. And I'm just about getting there now and reaching that point where walking becomes an absolute pleasure for me. Looking across a tranquil ocean there at Capel Island. It's not accessible, and I think it's a nature reserve. Now I'm into my stride at my 6.2, 6.4 kilometers an hour walking pace. This pathway, Capel Way coastal pathway, is certainly not built for wheelchairs. No way. Which is a shame, really. It's rugged, rough, steep. So there is a road section which you can get around, but the coastal path itself non-accessible for wheelchair, not wheelchair friendly. Now while you're on this pathway, please ensure that you don't go traversing around farmlands. The signs say to stay on the pathway. Please do. Capel Island is a small island visible from Knockadoon's signal tower and walking trail. The island is uninhabited, but was almost home to a lighthouse, the structure of which is still visible on the island today. Construction of the lighthouse started but never finished, as the nearby island of Ballycotton was thought to be more suitable, and so construction of a new lighthouse began there instead. The island is now recognised as a bird sanctuary. Well folks, how can I put this to you? How can I say this? When you get up early in the morning and your intentions are to don the boots and the walking gear, pack the lunch and take off into the great outdoors. In this part of Ireland, we are spoiled for choice. Take a look at that majestic scenery there in front of you and behind me. A sunshine glistening on the water of the Atlantic in this tranquil and peaceful bay at Knockadoon in East Cork, and Capel Island in front of me there. Makes you appreciate, be grateful and feel awfully privileged that you can get out and venture and walk in these grand places. It's available for all. Why not give it some thought and get stuck into this trekking in the great outdoors. I've walked this pathway on many occasions. In fact, a few years ago we came here on a Sunday and it was quite windy. Gale force winds, and we had to turn back for safety reasons. Now, both sides of the pathway, left and right, as you can see, have protective fencing. But nevertheless, when you get the storms from the Atlantic coming in here, this can be a rather dangerous place to be trekking. But today, in contrast to danger, you've got beauty as far as the eye can see. So my walk on Capel Way coastal walk continues in beautiful sunshine. Isn't it great to be alive and have good health, to indulge in a pastime like walking and documenting the travels? It truly is. You get one life, folks. You get one run, one shot at this life. Try and make the best of your time here on this planet. Please. Now the island behind me there, sitting in the bay, is Capel Island. C-A-P-E-L Island. It's not accessible and a place to walk upon. It's a wildlife sanctuary, and I embrace that fact with great enthusiasm. We have plenty places to walk on offshore islands and around Ireland, and indeed on the mainland. We don't need to be going out to these beautiful, tranquil islands to put our mark on there as well. So I, for one, am glad and happy that this one is out of bounds. Even though it would be majestic to get out there, I have no desire to do so. I adhere to the rules and the regulations of this land. We carry it forward to the next generation, and we try and leave it in a way that can be enjoyed by future generations. I think that's quite a good philosophy to have. Would you agree? As part of the Capel Way Coastal Trail, this is a most enjoyable walk on gravel track and minor road, bringing the walker along the coastal path around the tip of Knockadoon Peninsula. You will pass the signal tower, a Napoleonic War lookout tower, a Second World War concrete lookout post, and some beautifully maintained thatched cottages with stunning views of sea cliffs, Ballycotton Bay and Youghal Bay, as well as Capel Island, eventually returning to Knockadoon Car Park along a minor road. Knockadoon Head, along with Capel Island and the area of sea between, is a national nature reserve. And you're walking along here like I am right now, and you're traversing a wild but tranquil place on a morning like this. The sun beating down on me, the ocean calm, and the sun glistening on the surface. All the ingredients of making you feel physically and mentally well and at peace with the world. And I'm all for that. Life is hard enough. We try to cope with all the different tormentations, difficulties, dilemmas, etc., etc., that come into our life, willingly or unwillingly. We face a lot on this life. So getting an opportunity to get out here this morning and take a look at that scene before you, that is the tonic that we all need to indulge in or upon. Now, if you do venture on this particular walk, and like most coastal pathways that are dramatically unprotected like this one here right now, for goodness sake, be careful of people in your charge, kids and animals and so forth. So just be careful, use the common sense approach. But take a look at that. Heavenly. Of course, the beauty of all this majestic scenery this morning is I can enjoy it alone, because once again I don't have any human intrusions. But perhaps that will change as the morning progresses. But I'm not a greedy person, and there's enough here to share. So I welcome all and sundry to this beautiful part of the south coast of Ireland this morning. walking along here in nobody's custody, my own world and my own environment, and I'm feeling good, content and at peace. Not only am I at peace with the world, but the world seems to be at peace with me. But then it's very easy to be at peace with me unless somebody stirs me up. Then you need to leave the building. But it's a rare occurrence. But I suppose everybody has a thorn in their side from time to time. But this walk is marvellous. There's a gentle breeze wafting in there to my left from the Atlantic. My shadow here on the right hand side of me. And the place to myself. The farmland here on my right hand side has yet to be ploughed over for spring sowing, and it's showing the remnants of last year's crop of barley, and it's a sad, sorry sight after the ravages of winter taking its toll. But again this morning, even so close to the coast, there's a very significant lack of bird life here. Yep, very significant lack of bird life. Why that is, I don't know. At various locations along this coastal pathway, you're going to see signs like this, and you'll also see signs on the fence, the farming fence boundary line. It's just to encourage you and stay focused on the path and not on private land. The reason the sign is here in front of us, this is on common land, and there are different holes and crevasses and precipices along there that you wouldn't see, and you'd step in and the end of your day would come in a rather abrupt manner, and we don't want that to happen to anybody. Whatever your mission in life is, go out, commit, indulge, enjoy, and come home safely. And don't focus on the destination, focus on the journey. That's the secret. Well, that's my little bit of advice for you today. Focus on the journey. You can enjoy the destination when you arrive, and hopefully we all arrive safely at our destinations. From time to time I take a deviation from the path, the chosen path, and I go towards the ocean's edge, like I am right now. But the path underneath me here is well defined, so there isn't the danger of falling into something that's not already after being identified. But we'll take a squeezy here at the coast. I won't put the bird in the air here now because it's quite breezy here at the coast. So there you are. Centre of picture is Youghal, East Cork. And I've travelled from that direction, from the Tower House. So my journey and destination is behind me as I look this direction, which is the opposite way. So quite a lot of cloud cover coming in now, and I just hope that this great red alert storm isn't going to be a premature event. But if it does, it does. We'll weather that, pardon the pun. We'll weather that as well. Isn't that gorgeous out to sea? That's so peaceful when you focus on it and you listen to the waves gently crashing there on the rocks beneath your picture. How about this? For fireside comfort in the bottom end of a field overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Patchwork quilt of cloud cover now forming all kinds of designs on the ocean surface. But these two deck chairs were put here obviously by the people living up behind to view the sunrise in the mornings. It truly is a beautiful sight there. It's so beautiful, so peaceful, so calming. Now I've already had the lunch, so there's no point in opening up and having the rest of it. We truly live in a beautiful country. We sure do. We have all the accolades of well-being when you go walking. Speaking of walking, I better continue on. I came here last May on my own. I drove through the little car park that was down there, and I had a swim. And the water was very cold, but it was so refreshing and so safe and so peaceful there. And it's no different today, but I'm not going swimming. Today is a day of walking. Off there on the horizon with the island is Youghal. As I said, the seaside town of Youghal. Now looking out there at the ocean with its myriad of patchwork quilt formations on the surface, I've had this thought before. Today I'm going to be vocal and enlighten you of my thoughts, this particular thought. I wonder what would we find if the ocean was drained, this particular stretch of ocean. What would we find? How deep would it be? What kind of ships and debris would we find on the ocean floor? Isn't that a really mad thought to have standing here? As I continue my way, looking there in front of you, it's a recent building, but it has a barrel-shaped roof on it. A roof like the old days of the farmyards and the hay sheds and so forth. And as I say, that's a recent build, but they have gone for the barrel roof effect. But unfortunately, the red paint that was put on it has well and truly faded over a short period of time. And I think, looking at this sign here on this post, that particular guy there looks like moi. I think most able-bodied people would really enjoy this walk. I think so. You need a bit of energy. It's sort of up and down quite a lot, but it's very doable. And allow yourself plenty of time. Now I do think that we had really bad wet weather, which we're going to get from tomorrow night on, that this place would be rather impassable, water runoff. I think so, but be aware of the hills and the mud if you decide to take it on board. Now the pathway here takes a turn for the worst, so be careful. There is a handrail, so it says here, walkers caution, beware of traffic. So this is where you hit the by road heading back to Knockadoon Pier, where I am parked. Before I take you back to Knockadoon Pier, I'm going to take you down here to some sort of a religious entity. It would be bad enough to be getting flogged with a cat and nine tails, but can you imagine being flogged by a rope ball with 3 or 4 inch nails penetrating it? I kid you not. And this is opposite the pillar to be tied and be scourged. No thank you. This is obviously the way of the cross and of the crucifixion, because all the signs indicate to that. And I guess that here we have the crown of thorns, and it is a crown of thorns. I suppose on a Good Friday the ceremonies of the crucifixion, etc., happen here. It's an unusual scene. I have not ever seen this replicated anywhere in all my travels in my life. And this is difficult walking up here, just carrying a backpack. Now, if they carry through with the full ceremony, and somebody carries a cross for crucifixion up here, tell you, that's some commit to your beliefs. In addition to the coastal path, this is a nice extra section to walk. Whatever your religious beliefs are, or none at all. If you're down these parts, just walk through, read, and continue on your way. So we have arrived at the pinnacle of the route, the way of the cross, and we come on the crucified Lord. It's quite a somber place to walk through, very peaceful, very calming. So whatever your religious beliefs are, or none, walk through it. It'll do you no harm, and it might do you some little bit of good. But it's an interesting, very unusual place, and my first time in here. Well, so now folks, I've taken you on the way of the cross. An excursion that I hadn't intended to go through with. But as I have come this far, which is quite a distance from where I began, I'll take in all the route. And the weather is sort of becoming cloudy and a bit cooler. So I suppose the storm that's coming is getting ready for action. Fresh water racing to the sea. I did swim here last May, and I did know that there was a sign saying the beach is unsafe. But it was a really nice day, so I availed of the cooling off. There is something awfully calming about listening to the sound of crashing waves on the shore. And it's the only sound here right now, as you would expect. But since I began the walk this morning, the sea seems to have become churned up rather significantly. It was really peaceful. To me, this is my tonic. This is what my nature is all about. Just getting away from the racket and the panic of lifestyles at the moment. Being alone, being in the wilderness, can think clearly. Speak to yourself if you wish so. Speak to you like you do all the time. But I love the outdoors and I love being out and about. I really do. I'm just going to walk the end of the beach here and then I'll make my way back. Now the trek back, I can go the road and it's a significant walk. But I am going to do that because I want to complete the loop. There are 2 loops and I'm doing the longest loop. The only things that I leave on the environment as I pass through and then leave, my footprints. And that's all anybody should leave. I put the bird in the air there, and a few moments into the flight, a small low-flying aircraft appeared from behind some cliffs, and there was a swift maneuver of my bird to the sand on the beach. That's what you got to be watching out for all the time. You can't always see or hear an approaching aircraft, and when you come from behind large cliffs, it's on you very, very quickly. But he went on his way, and I completed my mission. I'm now on a road that's awfully less travelled, and this will take me around the countryside and back to Knockadoon Pier. It's the long loop, but I'm not going to do a half a loop. I'm going to do the big loop. So this will be the most uninteresting part of my trek this morning, the road journey. But it's all part of putting one foot in front of the other, and away we go. Trying to get back to Knockadoon Pier, I'm gonna have to walk it. I don't think there's any light rail going to come for me this morning in these here parts. This is when you can feel the heart getting a good workout. The isometric projections of the heart are certainly at full whack there now. But this is what I like to do. I like to give the body a good shake up. But I give it a good shake up every bloody morning. And it's probably screaming out for a morning of rest. And I'm not heeding. This hill is certainly a bone shaker. You can find the pressure on the back of your legs and down near your Achilles tendons as you push yourself forward to the top of this hill. And I'm still not there. And I'm carrying a pretty heavy backpack. I endeavour to carry through my walking pace of 6.2, 6.4 kilometers an hour, even when there's hills like the one I'm on right now, because that really opens the body and gets yourself prepared for the onslaught of the hill. When you get to the level off ground, you feel so loose. That's a me thing as well, by the way. Now I'm coming up to a busy secondary road, and I'm going to, I think, meet significant traffic, so I need to be careful. So my peaceful morning is about to end abruptly here, and introduced into my morning will be the sound of vehicular traffic. Well, so far so good. Just one car, one vehicle. But signs every so often saying slow down. Walkers, students walking. There's a summer college down at Knockadoon, and I'm sure a lot of the students over the summer months do this long loop. I don't think anybody is going to answer a concrete door, do you? Painted window and door. Here in the middle of the country in East Cork.
what we have here is a horse cart straddling a high wall with 4 milk churns containers on board it. Certainly won't be nicked anyway. What you have here is a water pump. These used to be used by people living along this road to get their water supply, long before water mains came from towns, cities and villages. This was the means, and you turn the handle up and down to get water from it. And you put your bucket under the spout and you get your bucket of water, and every time you needed water you have to make the walk to here, or in your horse and cart. A story from a bygone era. We've come a long ways on the Emerald Isle, and sometimes I wish that we could go back to where it was from the beginning. Now here in Knockadoon there is some sort of a religious college for students that's used extensively during the summer months. They're calling it Knockadoon Camp, but it starts here on my right hand side and it's quite extensive. So it's a young people's college. I think it's religious orientated, I think. Some modern buildings and some old buildings, but it's an extensive campus. Well folks, I've taken you around Capel Way Coastal Trail. It's taken a good few hours. Great walk, exhilarating, gorgeous weather, beautiful scenery. Rugged, wild, peaceful and serene. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I thank you for your company and for tagging along. And until the next walk, take care. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.